This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. Matter of fact, this is He Knows His Hustle and His Grind, bringing you that hustle and that grind. Listen, man, there's hustling and there's grinding. I am a biggest supporter of both because you see, when you hustle, you're there to feed your family, to keep the lights on. When you grind, that's the value, whether it's monetary or whatever it may be, to ensure that you feed your family and keep the lights on. Hustle and grind. Hustling and grinding, they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other, because hustling is the seed that bears fruit. Grinding is the action thereafter. I'm going to say that again. Hustling is the seed that bears fruit. Grinding is the action thereafter. You got to have both, man. Me, I operate in both lanes because I understand hustling is the key. It's the key to success. Grinding is the action of that success. You want to keep pushing forward, you got to hustle and grind. There are no two ways around that bad boy. You need both, and you need them in droves. Now, is everyone built to hustle and grind? No. I have to be cold-hearted, I have to be unadulterated, and I have to be cutthroat with that truth. Everyone is not built that way. Now, is this something that you can build yourself towards having? Yes. But it's all about your mindset. It's all about perspective. It's basically all about how you are seeing things. You have to see that you want to hustle. And you have to have a purpose in which you're hustling for. Because hustling doesn't just come out of its own air. Something inspires the hustle. Someone inspires the hustle. It's like a light bulb. And trust and believe, when that light bulb gets turned on, cling, it's time to get to work. I'm a firm believer in hard work, man. Hard work pays off. But you gotta first have that fruit, that seed of hustling. You gotta be a hustler. For all the hustlers out here that know what I'm talking about, hats off to y'all. For all of the female hustlers out there that know what I'm talking to y'all, shout outs to y'all. Because hustling is an art. I'm going to say that again. Hustling is an art. Everyone doesn't have it. But again, it's not something that is genetic. It's something that can be manufactured. Some folks, it takes hard times and it takes going through arduous situations in life for them to develop and have the resilience to build themselves up to that point. Some folks come out of the womb and they already like that. See, no two people are alike. No two mindsets are alike. No two personalities are alike. Everyone's different. But the key is, at some point in your life, you got to become a hustler. Because let me tell you something. This life here, nobody's going to spoon feed you. Nobody's going to just give you what you want in life. And I'm speaking to the old, and I'm speaking to the young, and I'm speaking to everyone on this one. At some point in your life, you're going to have what's called a gut check. You're going to have to check yourself. I'm Mr. Check, so I'm always checking myself. See, that's why I don't get fazed when somebody checks me, because I've already checked myself. I was already the biggest critic of myself. So that's what you have to do. You have to become the biggest critic of yourself. It's called self-reflection. Self-reflection is something that you constantly have to be doing. Because when you're constantly self-reflecting, that means that you're constantly giving yourself constructive criticism. And if you're constantly giving yourself constructive criticism, that means there's continual room to improve. You got to be on that. You can't be on that nonsense about, oh, I arrived, or on that nonsense about, oh, I made it. I don't need to improve further, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to get stagnant, and guess what? You're going to go. Because stagnant doesn't stay stagnant. You know what ends up happening with that? You then go backwards. That happens to all of us if we're not careful. This is why each and every single day, you got to wake up with the mindset that I got to hustle and hustle real hard. Regardless what it is. If it's for your job, if you're a YouTube creator, if it's a combination of both, if it's for you to study for a test that you've been trying to pass, if it's for your health, if it's you basically trying to get a good grade in school so that you can impress your parents, or you're getting a good grade in school because you know that you're just as good as the other students in class, or if it's just because you're practicing for a sport and you feel that you're the best, but you want to go out there and prove it, that's what hustling is. It's a seed. It's a fruit. Because the seed eventually turns into a fruit. So once you implant that seed in your mind of hustling, the fruit will eventually bear. And once the fruit bears, then you can go out there and grind. That's right. Now we're getting to the grinding part, because the grinding is the daily work associated with the hustling. The hustling is the mindset. The grinding is the action. Let me say that again. The hustling is the mindset. The grinding is the action thereof. Now you got to grind. And grinding is something that you have to always check yourself on. Because grinding doesn't got time to play nice. It doesn't got time to play second place. And it doesn't have time to play games. When you grinding, you working. I'm going to say that again. When you are grinding, you are working. You're putting that work in. You know that term when y'all hear me say, whip it, work. Whip it, work. You putting that work in, because you have to do that. You got to match the intensity with whatever's in here in your action. I'm going to say that again. You have to match the intensity of whatever you're putting out that's here. Because if you don't do that, trust and believe, life is going to pass you. And when it passes you, you're going to sit back and say, man, I didn't live up to my full potential. You don't want to be that person that sits back and says, man, I could have been the full version of myself, but I did not become the full version of myself, or I did not apply myself because I didn't want to hustle and grind. So go out there and hustle, man. Go out there and grind. So I'm speaking to the young, I'm speaking to the old, I'm speaking to everyone, because guess what? This is something that you can build yourself towards, because hustling and grinding are habits. Just like we have bad habits out there, folks have vices, right? Hustling and grinding can be good habits for you if you channel them into the right situation and you channel them into the right perspective mentally and physically. So whatever it is that you want out there, you got to go out there and get it. No one's going to give it to you, man. This life is not meant to be spoon-fed. You got to go out there and get it. Because let me tell you something. If you don't take care of yourself, then who is going to take care of you? And if you don't go out there and get it, who's going to go out there and get it for you? So this is where that term of self-preservation becomes the law of the land. I love that term Floyd Mayweather uses. I love it, because I understand what he meant. So you have to be in the moment of whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's a pressurized situation, or whether if it's an epiphany, or whether if it's a combination of both. You gotta get to that mindset that self-preservation is the law of the land. Because if you don't love yourself, then who's going to love you? You have to first love yourself. You have to first know the self-reflection and the self-value of you before you can take it to the next level. See, that's the root that bears the fruit of hustling. And then once that fruit is bared, man, you're going to want to keep producing fruit. And you know how you do that? It's through the grinding. I'm going to say it again, the grinding. Notice I put the emphasis and the oomph in grinding, because grinding is not easy, man. It's not play. Because you got to grinding. You understand? Emphasis. That means you got to put in the work, regardless what it is in your life. Life is filled with obstacles, man. But it's up to you to grind. It's up to you to excel. So go out there and hustle, and go out there and grind. This is He Knows His Sport. Check it out.